Welcome back to another episode of Twisted Metal Companion. I'm Peter. Sitting over there, upside down on a cross, is Tyler. How you doing, sir?
Doing good. Got my Jack and Coke crunching away.
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, they take Jack and Coke to a whole new meaning in this episode. Um, we are literally less than a week left until the premiere of season two of Twisted Metal. We just had SDCC this weekend. uh, Twisted Metal finished up their bit last night at the time of this recording, where MJ Smith, the showrunner, was able to introduce the first two episodes of the season. So that was a late evening screening, and I've been busy all day today. I have no idea what people are saying about it, but I know he's really happy and excited for people to see season two. Tyler, did you see anything over the weekend about season two interviews, anything that was mentioned from the cast and crew?
I haven't seen much. I saw some pictures of people down at Comic Con, and then I think the only thing that I looked at was I guess there was Twisted Metal bumper cars. I
Yeah.
saw some of the cast was participating in.
Yeah, they had people dressed up as the dolls, and they had someone as Dollface. They had their own Calypso. They had probably the same guy who did Sweet Tooth 2 years ago. Uh, when I saw him, just because we're so used to seeing like Samoa Joe and like the Twisted Metal Black version of him, I saw this guy. I'm like, somebody give the man some Skittles. Like he needs, he needs more weight. But yeah, he's just really tall and not as wide as we're kind of used to. But the bumper cars thing, it looks really fun. I think after the first evening, whichever night it was, I think after they closed down, the cast and crew maybe question mark at least kind of like the main cast that was there in attendance, they got to do some of the bumper cars, and so a lot of pictures came out of that. Some personal pictures, some professional ones from some of the media outlets, but it looked like a lot of fun. A lot of they had a lot of those kind of candid shots of I think one was like Sailor Kurta, who plays Mayhem. She has like her mouth is just agape, just wide open. They might have just bumped each other, but it
Mhm.
looks like it was a lot of fun. I definitely had some FOMO. Um, the most exciting thing that I kind of made a graphic to for people to share on the interwebs was during the panel, which was on Friday. I believe it was on Friday. Um, MJ had mentioned in the panel that going into the writer's room, they had basically they had to kind of envision season two as the Lost Twisted Metal game.
Mhm.
So, which old characters are coming back? Which new characters? What specials they want to see? What will the rounds of the tournament look like? So they were breaking the tournament, and all of that was really exciting to hear. So they had the gamers in mind. So I think there's a lot to look forward to. And he kind of ended it asking if he can swear, and they're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. His daughter was like in the audience, and so he told her to cover her ears, and he's like, I'm fucking stoked for you guys to see it. So if he's excited, I'm excited because I know he's a big fanboy and a nerd just like all of us. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Plenty of interviews, MTV, IGN, IMDb, I think was there. But if you guys just go on YouTube, SDCC Twisted Metal, I'm sure you guys will find it. Anything you guys want to look for.
Yeah, there's a lot out
I,
there.
there is a lot out there. Since we're kind of like crunching on time, I haven't I haven't reached out to Raddick for like the remaining Easter eggs. We did get seven, but we kind of want to hurry up and get these episodes out so we can kind of prepare for season two. So I tried doing some of the research on my own. I went through the strategy guide for, I believe, the Twisted Metal 2012. That's not the black, is it? Black was 2001 or two.
Let me check.
And then, because I think it was Black was early 2000s, and then I think there was a Twisted Metal 2012, if I'm not mistaken. I have the strategy guide for the latter one. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Black was 2001.
okay, and I think that's kind of their main. Um, I think that's the one where they're drawing sources from, is the Twisted Metal Black. I mean, that's where they got that look for Sweet Tooth. Um, so yeah, we'll see what I was able to pull up and see if you caught any of that stuff. Okay, so we're just gonna jump into episode 8 of season 1, titled Evelyn. In terms of the name game, it's all about Evelyn the car. So I
Yeah.
don't think there's really anything else. This was written by two writers. This one the last episode was Alyssa Forlighter, who also returns for this episode along with Allison Taffel, and directed by Bill Benz, who I believe also directed the last episode. Um, Peacock says this episode, John and Quiet go undercover on a rescue mission. John faces an out of control opponent. I thought that was kind of an interesting description for this new opponent, out of control. I don't know. We'll talk about it. Tyler, what do you think of this episode?
Yeah, I mean this one's a lot of fun. Not only just as it has Jason Mantzoukas, which is a favorite of mine, but yeah, we get a little bit deeper look into the holy men that we've kind of only heard of, up till this point. We've just kind of seen the damage that they've left with like the crucified milkman sent from the convoy and stuff. So fun seeing a deeper look into some of the villain gangs.
Mhm. I too think I thought this episode was a lot of fun. I remember on my first watch and seeing Preacher, I was like, is he Jason Mantzoukas? Like, very recognizable. One of my favorite movies, one of my favorite Christmas movies is The Night Before, which stars Seth Rogen, Anthony Mackie, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Excuse me. And in that movie, Jason Mantzoukas plays like a mall Santa Claus who's like drunk, and so it's always a joy to see him. You and I got to see him live when How Did This Get Made came to Portland just a couple
Mhm.
months ago, and yeah, just always a joy to see him. And I feel I'm not, I don't want to jump the gun and say he was born to play this role, but I can't imagine anybody else playing Preacher this way. I think he's fantastic as Preacher. But this episode is definitely another top tier episode for me. Uh, the rate at this rate, I feel, yeah, I think there's going to be like at least half of the episodes are like solid top three. It'd be really
Yeah.
hard to choose, but yeah, this one is just as good as the previous one and episode 4, Who's There? So let's get into it. We open up on a flashback and we see a young John. Did you know who plays young John?
No, I didn't look up the actor.
Anthony
The
Mackie
capture is that
Jr.
Anthony Mackie. Oh, really? Oh, that makes sense
Yeah,
then.
yeah. So some of his deliveries, just like his dad.
Yeah.
So
I,
yeah,
I was gonna say, yeah, they must have. Or I was thinking, oh, they did a good job at like showing him, Anthony Mackie, like his delivery, with jokes and stuff. Yeah.
oh
Well,
yeah,
that makes a lot of sense.
yeah, it does. I don't. I think I did not know that for a while, and I think it wasn't until I feel like it was Stacey Perry, the special effects makeup department head. I believe it was one of her posts where in this very episode, she shared a picture of those actors' chairs that they sit
Mm.
on in between takes kind of thing, and it said I think one said John and the other one said young John, or I might be mixing up, but basically in that post you see several pictures of Junior, with makeup and stuff like that. And that's where I learned it. I was like, oh, had no idea. So there we go. Got his son to play the young version of himself. So this is just right after an accident, probably when he got amnesia. He grabs a family photo that was burning in the glove compartment, and a random lady comes to check on him, only to whack him with what appeared to be the bottom part of like an axe and take off with the car. And the last comment I had was, "What the fuck?" Um, he he had nothing to defend himself with, and so I thought it was very unnecessary to smack him with the butt of the axe. Right? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like you could probably just kind of push the kid over or something if you really just wanted to take the car. But I mean, yeah, she mentions that the walk-in storm, is coming, so maybe she's just making sure that he doesn't grapple onto the side or something, doesn't have to deal with him. But I mean, he's also
Yes,
already has a traumatic brain, injury from the
yeah.
crash before.
Right. He did,
Ugh.
she's asking for his age, his name. He doesn't remember any of it. Even she's like, what are you, like 10, 11? So I kind of forgot how this ended up playing out, but I think maybe it was to kind of give the audience an idea. Like, this is when he was about 10 or 11, somewhere after the fall. He escaped or something. That's why he ended up with the car. But he at the very least had the picture with him. So I don't know if
Mhm.
that was his family's car. I'm kind of forgetting any of the future details if they do come. Um, there's a sign that says Zorko Brothers Auto Salvage. Are you familiar with this at all?
No, it seemed specific enough. I assumed it was probably signage used in a game or something, like a
Yeah, very
salvage yard
very
level or
close.
something like that.
Yeah, there is a junkyard. It is the first level in Twisted Metal Black. We just talked about how they pull sources from it. And the name of the level is a reference to Randy Zorko, a designer who worked for Incog, who they're the
Okay.
ones that made Black, I believe. Um, let's see. Yeah, you mentioned the Watkins storm. So he runs for cover, and the cold open ends with him looking at the family photo and questioning who is this asshole. Like,
Yeah.
like sometimes I don't have the volume up too loud, and I'm kind of uh I'm kind of like reading the captions, and so when I see that, sometimes I'm like, wait, is that actually right now, or is this like one of those things where I'm getting a caption from like a future scene, like in episode 7 that kept on happening, or episode 6 that kept on happening with me. But I thought that was interesting that he's like, this is asshole. So I guess he kind of forgot that, that was his face.
Yeah, this kind of seals that, like, oh, this is where he's, kind of forgotten who he was. I do like though that, yeah, he has forgotten who he is, but he still thought to grab the photo. Like he knew to
Yeah,
grab the photo, but he doesn't know what the relevance is. Yeah.
right. Yeah, that's a good point actually. Um, So we cut to John and Quiet, who are still on the road. John is still hungover in the passenger seat, and she's asking for the sunglasses because the son's bullying her, is what she said. What did you think about this back and forth about them like living together after us finding out that John apparently has eaten a dog? She said it's a little gamey, but yeah, it's this whole thing. I
Yeah.
thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah, kind of going back and forth about, what they're looking forward to when they, finish the job and get to New San Francisco. And yeah, her first instinct being like, oh, I want to, I'm excited to get a pet, I want a dog. And John, that's just immediately, dog kind of gamey, not a fan.
Right, right. She's like, no, and so yeah, he keeps going back and forth like. Um, he says something. She's like, "Wait, you want to live together?" He's like, "No, like your own place and my place. Like, if you want me to come over and walk the dog, unless you want to live together." Like, so he keeps going back and forth. I thought that was really funny. Um, and I guess I'm not surprised that he's eaten a dog because we saw him eat a seal in the very first episode. So I don't know if I had a choice between one or the other. Maybe a seal. Just the idea of a pet.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
I couldn't.
if you don't, if you haven't grown up like with a pet and it's kind of like everything's already turned to shit, maybe you just don't make that connection, of like the companionship there. So I can understand it. But of the two, yeah, I'd probably, go for the seal. They at least look like they have more meat on them.
But yeah, that's fair. And you don't have, I don't want to get into the details, but like you don't have to like shave the hair or anything like that. And yeah, I couldn't do it myself. Like I would have to rely on somebody else to prepare it. But I think you're right. The seal would probably have a lot more meat. This is when Quiet finds the photo because she flips the visor down, and a really funny sequence because he's like basically telling her to be careful, and she's like, "No, it's totally fine." Then it just goes right out the window. So very
Mhm.
a comedic cut, and it cuts to the both of them looking for the photo, and John is not happy. Um, Apparently, he told her to stay back with the car and keep an eye on the package, and she says she could do two things and insists on helping. She does find the photo and she asks him, what do you say? And, basically like looking for a thank you. And he replies, don't drop it again. And I love how she's just like, basically like fair enough.
Mhm.
I thought that was kind of a nice play there. Then all of a sudden, three holy men are seen stealing Evelyn, and they both run after them. John shoots one in the head. Quiet throws an axe at one, but then the third one is the one that gets away with it. Did you have anything else to add to this?
No, yeah. So the kind of intro of the holy men here. I like the get up, the costume that they got. We only get a quick, like glance at the mask before John shoots him in the face.
That's right. I guess I'm forgetting that we have not seen a holy man yet, right? A holy man.
I
Holy man.
Yeah, if we have it's got to be brief, because
Yeah.
yeah, I think this struck me as the first time seeing it.
This is, I think, spoiler light. I mean, well, I'm gonna mention something from season two, but we've seen. If you guys been like on social media looking at content being dropped, new images, what have you, there's that photo of inside the hangar where the group is like looking at Calypso right before the countdown kind of thing. They're all lined up right there. The guy who plays Deacon, that's a holy man. If you look at his getup,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
okay.
And I actually think in one of the articles it described him as a holy man. And I was just like, oh shit, that's right. Yeah, because very similar look, the leather and all that. Now, I do know Preacher has a gunner, and I don't know Brimstone's the vehicle that he drives. I was just reading a bunch of stuff over the weekend, and the gunner was described as to have like kind of a one-piece leather outfit, and I'm just like, oh, I wonder if that's supposed to be Deacon, or now I'm kind of getting to theories territory. Excuse me, but that's just kind of what I was thinking. Now that we're kind of like actually getting the holy men, so. Let's see. I like this exchange between John and Quiet. John's like, "What the fuck did you do?" It's very heated. Um, and let me
I had
see.
a
My notes are a little.
uh, so you had a question here about one of the lines. So yeah, they're after the holy men that they kill, are down, and the other one drives away. John's kind of like holding his side as
Mhm.
he's like running towards the vehicle. And there wasn't subtitles for this, but I wonder if it's different for you. It sounded like he said as he was like running towards them, "Goddamn buttery nips."
I did not see that.
Okay. So I heard it and I like went rewound again to see if like subtitles were up. And just for that line, it was missing. And so I listened a few times and it sounded like that's what he was saying. So I didn't know if that's like some type of, expletive or something, because he's cramping or something like that.
No, that's interesting. I'll have to go back. Excuse me. I've been having this gnarly cough all weekend. Um, I don't remember the uh reading that in the captions. I'm usually watching because like it's a headshot, and I do see him like kind of favoring like his side a little bit. I thought that it was like an injury from the fight the night before at the Nut
Oh,
House.
yeah.
Like him and Pizza Boy. Like I just thought it was like I didn't even think that it was the drink um that got him. So yeah, I'll have to go back and check that out. Um, but yeah, he's still injured. Excuse me. Oh my God, that's gonna keep happening. He's still injured, and he's pissed at Quiet. We get a quick passage of time, and we learn it's been an hour, and he still hasn't spoken to her while they've been walking. She apologizes and says she fucked up, and it takes a moment, but he does start to speak and says this wasn't the first time he lost Evelyn. Apparently, the first time was the vultures, Necros another time. Now, the Necros, we haven't met them, right?
I don't think so.
Or
Maybe
are
the
those just
um maybe the deranged man on the road was a necro, seeing as what he was going to do to John.
Oh, you talk about the Haggard loner?
Yes, yeah, the haggard loner.
That could be. Um,
And then yeah,
hmm.
the third time he just forgot where he parked her.
I did think about that, and I wasn't sure if I was going to bring it up, but since I'm already kind of teeing it up, I do wonder where was he where he forgot? Was it in a mall parking lot? That's happened to me, where
Oh
I,
yeah.
might have
Y-
had a few
y-
drinks.
you go in through the JC Penney and you exit through the Macy's, and it's like,
That could
oh,
be.
totally wrong side.
I literally one time was in a mall parking lot, and instead of like walking, like spiraling upwards to get to the level where I was, somehow I managed to stay on the same level and just kept on walking in circles and didn't realize it for the longest time. I was like, I should have seen my car by now and realized I was still on the first floor. But again, I had been drinking, so it was one of those nights. I just thought it was the funniest thing ever. I was like, how did that even happen? Um, but let's see here. She convinces him to let her help him get Evelyn back. And what did you think about this plan? Because they're gonna have to walk, well, John's plan. They're gonna have to walk an hour all the way back just to get the masks, and then walk back this way. That's already a 2 hour turnaround, just for the
Yeah,
car.
yeah. I mean, he's clearly dedicated. He's on a mission. But yeah, he's not even considering what she's saying. It's just, oh, I hear the bells. They're over there. So now we have to go back because I have a plan and that's what we're gonna do.
I do live this comedic bit from Quiet. She goes, "I'm just gonna wait here. Did you hear me? He didn't hear me." And then
Yeah,
just,
he starts falling.
catches up with him. Yeah, I do wonder if she even considered like, hey, just can you grab two masks? Like,
Yeah.
I'll hang out right here. Um, After a break, we go back to young John, who's trying to start a fire. After trying to reach for some apples, he falls down a hill and finds a vehicle that's been mostly covered by branches and shrubs. I did pause on that on the apple because I was trying to figure out if it was an apple or a peach, and
I
I
wrote
feel like you could
peach.
almost, huh?
I wrote peach. It was
Oh, okay. Yeah, hard to tell, but it does look like it might have been like a prop or something. Because I think you could kind of see the strings, uh, you know, tied up there at the very top. Um, the window was down, but inside was a rotting body. Now, did you think this was a trap?
no, I didn't read it as a trap, no.
Because there's a pack of cigarettes and a lighter that are still in very good condition. Given that the body rotted, I'm thinking some of that stuff in there, it looked like it could have been planted. I'm not sure.
Mhm.
Um, let's see. Is that all I had? Oh, there's a unopened can of beans, Lothario magazines that also seem to be in decent condition.
Yes. Which I
Uh,
looked that up and that is a like Hollywood prop, kind of
okay.
like pre-made thing.
I
But
did that research. I
one of the articles on there was the amazing history of American erectile dysfunction treatments.
Very nice. I had to look up what Lothario meant, for the
Mm.
basically for those that English was my second language, and it's not a word that I understood, so I had to look it up. Um, And there's also a bundle of cash, which he ends up using to start a fire. Yeah, because the reason I asked if you thought it was if not even, if you even considered it might be a trap, just because like later on we get the butcher scene, so I was just like, oh, I wonder if they put that there just, to have somebody, um, yeah, who knows? But also there's a body that rotted, and who's covering up the shrubs? Did this guy, his car stalled, and for protection, he covered himself to kind of hide? The window was down so he could get the fresh air. I don't know, there's just a lot of questions for me.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking like since like he fell down the hill to get there, that like maybe the car had like gone over the
Mm.
embankment or something, and he died in the crash. And it's just the way that the corpse looked was like so desiccated that like it'd been so long that just like vines and leaves and stuff had just kind of
Oh,
covered
interesting.
it.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I didn't even think. Yeah, it didn't even occur to me. Yeah, how did the vehicle get down there? I just thought that he was on like an upper hill, but that could be too. Yeah. And maybe that's why the car doesn't start, and maybe explains the trunk, which we're going to talk about later. We cut back to John and Quiet, present time, arriving to the compound and put on the masks, or I guess outside the compound. Quiet tucks away the package in between some tree logs, and John tells her she has tons of work. What? That's not right. Dictation messed it up. But he says that she has to work on her dude voice. And my
Oh
question
yeah.
is, what's with the accent?
Yeah, she puts on a Cockney accent. Says, was it, I love killing and guns. I do. Righto,
Yeah,
governor.
yeah. He advises her to try not to talk. I do love that though. That's just like this is how dudes talk. They love guns and killing. And just I love the addition of I do. It's like for real. Like I love killing and guns. Um, I was a little surprised to see them just walking in, and it didn't appear to be heavily guarded, or
Mm.
they just didn't show it to us because obviously they're going to be able to lock down the camp later.
Yeah, I was gonna say yeah, because later, yeah, they are giving orders to seal up the camp. So yeah, maybe they have protocol just like kind of tighten things, and since they're all partying, there it's just
Yes, they
a
are.
bit looser.
Yeah. What did you think about the Holy Men, their look and their livelihood?
Oh yeah, the man seems like they have a lot of fun. They're really into partying. We see one of them uh, is dipping joints in paint thinner and saying, the dinner for the sinner. They all and then they're just like we're as they're walking through, they're just like randomly fighting each other. We see kind of one of them challenge the other
Challenge.
to a
Yeah.
clash. Uh, but yeah,
Oh,
it's definitely
yeah,
seems like
actually,
they're a group
that's one of my
of
questions.
what's that?
Why do you think there's even this way of challenging one another? What do you think that's about?
Oh, yeah, I mean, just
To
kind of
keep
like
things
the
fair?
yeah the hierarchy of the members, just like instead of having someone have to dictate, preacher doesn't have to like govern and say like, okay, well, let's hear the story or whatever. No, it's just like, oh, you want this thing, well then okay, you two fight for it, and winner gets it.
Yeah.
Very very simple system.
What do you think about the kind of like, the men are like the gods and the women are the goddesses, this whole thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're they're gods in some sense. They definitely seem to be at the behest of the goddesses. Yeah, we just see them being whipped and like licking their feet, and definitely a sub dom relationship here.
Not gonna lie, like I still would prefer to live with the convoy and be part of that community. But maybe once in a while I like to sneak out and go hang out with the holy man just for a night. A night of
smoke
debauch.
smoke a crack pipe, drink some coke, lick some feet.
They I mean quite even asked like how are these guys still living? Like if they can do it, what's one night of just partying with these guys?
Yeah, yeah.
Um
Like John's like just yeah, quiet's kind of like she's using her normal voice and making comments, and John says, "Stop staring and blend in." And just one of the holy men is just smoking a crack pipe and gives her a thumbs up as they're walking by.
I think even like calls her dude. It's like hey dude, or like something, calls her dude. And I think she also, yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. Some of the observations here, jumping ahead, the goddesses are whipping men. There's lots of men licking boots and kissing legs. I think a guy is eating a roasted pig at one point. And I'm pretty sure I saw a pink butt plug as a hood ornament on one of the
Oh,
vehicles. Yeah, so there you go. We mentioned the confrontation between the two men, saying one brother to another, I propose a clash,
and
and
did
Quiet
you
bumps
notice
into,
the thing that they're
go ahead.
fighting over is just a human skull that I think one of them was just drinking out of.
There's a lot of skulls all around there. One guy, I don't remember if it was Krevin, but there's one of the holy men had like a bottom jaw of a skull,
Yeah.
or I'm sorry, yeah, like wearing as a necklace. And I thought that was kind of a neat look, really. Um, Quiet bumps into Goddess Janice, and they have a fun exchange here, where she's like whipping her, she's doing the Cockney accent. I thought that was really funny, and they do get some libation out of it. I had to look that up. Um, and they get the drink just in time for a chug-a-lug time. I do like this, where it's like chug-a-lug time and they all say in unison. At my station, my workplace, we do this thing. It happens almost every morning, and you have to say it in the cadence. Somebody will be like, um, they'd be like coffee break, and then everybody would be like coffee break, and then we all take a sip of whatever beverage you have in the morning. So that's the thing that we do. So I did like this little thing. Yep, Jack and Coke. Quite comments that it was crunchy, and the cupbearer says that would be the Coke. So they must have a lot of this because they're not even crushing it up. They're just, chipping it away and using it like ice, I guess,
Say, but like putting too much sugar in your Kool-Aid, so it's just
Yeah,
gritty.
right, right. Preacher with one of the best character introductions ever. A guy is dragged by a motorcycle behind him for reasons. And I just love how it's just a thing in the background and they're not, cutting to it or following it at all. Jason Mantzoukas just walks in and everybody's happy to see him. Um, do you think, actually, first off, what did you think of the casting of Jason? Like, we talked a little bit about Preacher earlier.
Oh, I mean, he's fantastic. Like he just melts into the role of this form, as we learn later, this formerly a former holy man, like literally a part, clergy, like he was a priest, who after everything fell, kind of realized like, oh, there's no gods, we are the gods, and just totally embraces, it's like hedonistic lifestyle. And Jason Mantzoukas, just his manic energy of like fuck it, we're just in a party, we're gonna do what we want, is so good. Yeah, he's fantastic.
I would love to just get some more behind the scenes stuff from the nights of them filming this sequence with Jason Mantzoukas, all the craziness in a improving. It's got to be so much fun.
And the later when we kind of get to some of the fights, the Jason Mantzoukas' stunt man, who seems to be like a capoeira fighter, who's
Yeah,
just like, I'd love to see the interaction between them, cutting on one scene where it's Jason and then bringing in this other guy to do flips and shit.
yeah, it's some good editing for sure. And whoever they got, looked just like him. And I had a hard like if you told me Jason Mantzoukas really did some training, a little bit of parkour, and just learn some basic movements, I would buy that. A lot of those were probably him. You know, like he committed to this role. Like I said, like I'm not ready to say like he was born to play this role, but again, couldn't see anybody else playing Preacher,
I'll
especially with
say,
him.
are you familiar with a Taskmaster, the British game show?
No.
Jason Mantzoukas was on this most recent season,
Mm.
and the energy he brings to that show is so similar to
Oh
the,
wow.
the energy of Preacher, of just like fuck it, I'm going to cause chaos, I'm going to tear shit up. Is
Yeah.
highly recommend it.
Okay. I'll definitely check it out. Every time I see him, I almost expect him to say like, oh God, man, what does he say at the live shows where he calls everybody jerks?
Oh yeah,
I'm
what's
kind
up,
of
jerks?
what's up, jerks? There it is. Yeah. So I almost feel like that should be coming out at some point.
Yeah, just
But
always antagonistic.
yeah. Um, Now, do you think Preacher is here all of the time or visits occasionally? Because I question that because of the way he's greeted by some.
Yeah, I'm curious, like because you said the holy man character in the new season,
Mm,
um, like yeah, I wonder, is this the holy man camp, or are there other like other large camps that he goes between, because how this one ends, there's likely only a few of them left. Uh, so yeah, that definitely raised the thought of like, oh yeah, I wonder if this is just like his night here, before he heads off to another one.
right. There might be other factions,
Yeah,
stuff like that.
other
Um,
cars to play with.
yeah, right. He seems to know some of them by name, even with the masks on. That's another reason why I asked, like, is he here often? We do meet a holy man named Krevin. What was the 7 day thing that Preacher was asking?
Oh, so the earlier we see another person crucified upside down,
Right.
who apparently is still alive, and yeah, right here as the coke is kicking in with Quiet and John, Preacher grabs a femur or some type of bone and hucks it at the crucified man, killing him. And he mentions, which one of you blessed fucks had 7 days in the death pool. So they seem to be betting, on how long it's going to take someone to die after they've been crucified. And the winner is Krevin.
and he gets awarded with a lot of offerings. I think a whole brick of coke. I think is what it
Yeah,
was, and
they're just loading up his
several.
arms with guns and coke.
Yeah. Um, he mentions this thing about the Rocky Mountain Fuck Fest, like the way he says it too, just so ambiguous. But I was just like, man, that I feel like that's something that people probably want to experience at least once, like kind of like the
Yeah,
gathering of the Juggalos. Like you probably just want to
yeah.
experience it just one time, out of your element a little bit. But
Oh yeah, and yeah, he mentions here that they're in Colorado for the annual pilgrimage, the Rocky Mountain Fuck Fest. So yeah, that would make sense
right.
that this is kind of the gathering of all of the different holy men to this one place.
Mm.
Yeah, and yeah, and they're in Colorado.
Yeah, I'm sad we didn't get to see it, but that might be John's fault. You were talking about like the coke kicking in and stuff like that. I do love when Quiet's like, she mentions like I can hear you grinding your teeth. And he's like, that's you, you know. So I thought that was really funny. Here, Preacher is gifted Evelyn John's car, and he has the biggest heart on, and calls her like a nice piece of ass. And I love how you can see like the dew on the vehicle because it's nighttime, and so he wipes the dew off around the spoiler, and then he sniffs his hand at one point. I thought that was a really nice touch. And he prepares to dick her muff as the holy men are all chanting that. And John shouts out, "Don't touch her!" And then challenges him with that phrase we heard earlier. And
Mhm.
Preacher happily accepts. We come back from a break, and Preacher and John are about to fight. Preacher asks if John's ready and snorts several lines off of a big serving plate and got
Yeah,
half of it on his face.
I was gonna say
Um,
it looks like he got more on his face than up his nose.
yes, I think that's very true. This Quiet has a good line here. Coke Jesus has a right hook, and John must have seen Bloodsport because he pulls a Chung Lee move where he grabs some dirt while he was down and throws it in Preacher's face. So John gets some good licks in and even knocks Preacher down at one point. And this is where John asked if he was possessed, to which Preacher answers, I was once by a little demon baby, and that's definitely an Easter egg from the games. So that is something that is part of his bio that I read for sure. Best capoeira I've seen since the 1993 film Only the Strong is what I wrote.
Oh yeah.
Which shameless plug, I did a review on that on my movie podcast, Pod Nostalgic, if you guys want to check that out. Um, we get this hilarious sequence of when Quiet sneaks off to the garage where she tries to seduce the mechanic, and I wrote, is it me or did he have the accent that she was working on earlier? Was there a bit of a Cockney accent with him when she
Oh
tells
yeah.
him to come like lick her boot?
I was trying to place it, yeah, and I couldn't like figure out if it was Cockney or some like Irish accent or something in that vein. But yeah, he definitely not from the states.
Yeah. And you are gonna love this. The actor, I believe his name was Ned Yusuf. The actor who plays the mechanic was in Off Ramp.
Oh,
By the name of yeah, he played a character named Roadkill. Now I didn't go back and watch it, but he is the guy that was like barbecuing on the outside of the trailer or something, and I
okay.
believe does get killed or was he spared? I'm kind of forgetting, but he was one of those guys. But I saw the images and he was wearing like a apron and I think he was like barbecuing outside. So, but he was one of those. He was one of Scarecrow's homies in that movie. So a little crossover.
Yeah.
Um, John, nope. Quiet, she gives herself away by asking for the keys to a vehicle and saying she wants to take it for a ride. And I guess there, the holy men and the goddesses, we learn from the mechanic that the goddesses, they only ride shotgun, which is kind of interesting, you
Mhm.
know, um, that they don't drive themselves, or it's kind of like you guys are my chauffeur kind of deal, right? So it's not necessarily like, well, oh, women can't drive. It's the men will drive for the women.
Yeah, yeah. It definitely kind of reads more as the men have to like
Mm,
drive them around. Yeah.
yeah. John continues to get his ass kicked by Preacher, and Quiet beats the living shit out of the mechanic, and we get a murder by a car door. Um, Preacher knocks out John and instructs them to take him to the cross, but the other guy's still hanging on there. And apparently, this isn't the first time. They have a saying which they all say in unison: when the heart stops, the body drops. But in fairness, he just killed the guy, you know? So
Yeah, it's a pretty quick transition from that happening to them fighting. But I guess maybe Preacher just expects them like, well, like it doesn't matter what else is going on, someone needs to clear off the cross.
in fairness, we just had chug-a-lug time, off, Ralph, Jack and Coke, so
Yeah.
um let's see here. I love this little exchange here. Because like Preacher has experienced some sort of party foul. He says the whole vibe is ruined, and this is when like Preacher becomes Jason Mantzoukas, and Janice is like trying to put on like his coat. He's like, "Oh," she goes, "Don't let it ruin your night." He goes, "Too late, Janice." Just love that delivery. It's so funny because it's not him necessarily breaking character, but it kind of is. Um, I love it. Now we come back from another break and we flash back to young John sitting in the car, Evelyn, and reading, quote unquote, the Lothario magazine. I didn't get the sense that there were any significant time jump from the last time we saw him. Did you?
No, I
Okay.
took it as he's been there for, maybe a day, but probably the
Okay.
same day.
Yeah. Yeah, I did go back and forth and tried to match up the makeup, try to see if the bruising from his forehead or anything like that. It's the same. So very shortly after, still that where he found Evelyn. At this point, a gentleman shows up and claims that he's just looking for food, and John is demanding this guy leave. He's got the lug wrench with him and throws it at the man, and the man's like, "Oh, you hit my veneers." And again, just now that you know that this is Anthony Mackie Jr., it makes so much sense.
It
And
Yeah,
his
his
delivery
line.
of like, yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I'm aiming for your balls. Yeah, that was the line where I was like, oh, they had this kid study Anthony Mackie.
Yeah, it because yeah, same. Like even though it's a higher register for being, a young teen, or however old he actually is, I was just like, God, man, this he's got that cadence down, and I'm just like, well, it's his son, so, but yeah, he just that delivery is so good. We find out this man is actually a butcher, and once he figures out John's alone, he gives the rest of them an all clear, and they all come storming in for dinner time. There's a couple mentions of, a child is back on the menu. This guy who was basically the scout or whatever, he mentions he loves veal, so what veal, right? He says veal, which is
Yeah, I love
um
veal.
baby calf, right?
Yeah,
Or yeah.
yeah,
Um,
baby calf,
So the younger meat, I guess, maybe because it's more fresh as opposed to like an old
tender.
person. Yeah.
Yeah.
John runs back and gets into Evelyn and tries to start the car. He's trying everything because from the outside we see that the trunk opens and hits a butcher. So he's definitely grabbing everything, right? The
Hmm.
lever to open the trunk and whatever. Um, and a little callback to when John and Quiet escaped the DMV but accidentally hit Stu with the trunk. And I guess the trunk was never important enough for John to fix, right? Because it's still faulty.
Hmm.
John is able to get away from them and shouts "fuck you" as he drives by. And cut to John in present time, locked in a cage, watching the holy man trying to fill Evelyn up with gasoline. Excuse me. Now, go ahead.
Oh yeah, and we're seeing the Krevin's star falling from his high point of guessing correctly to now repeatedly being put down. See, couldn't get a fuel hose long enough to fill up the new car.
All right. Um, I lost my spot here. Love the exchange between Quiet and John as she finds him, because he's so down right now. The fact that he's in a cage, that she's not even excited. He's not even excited to see her. Um, she frees him. She frees him and tells him that, oh, free. Okay. My phone put FREEZE
Oh.
when I meant like
she
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 frees,
she
feed
turns into
FR. Yeah,
Sub Zero and freezes the
exactly.
food.
Yes. Yeah, but he's adamant about not leaving Evelyn behind. Very emotional sequence right here. Quiet reminds him of all the things that she's done, like drinking the Coke and um uh I didn't list it all, but she's
Yeah,
going through everything that she's done from basically and
yeah.
makes it
John's like, arguing that, oh, she just doesn't understand. She doesn't
Right.
get
Oh,
like
right.
why he wants to stay, and she's just like, I got whipped, I drank coke. Like, how can you say that I don't understand? Like, I'm
Right.
here with you. We're partners, remember?
Well, this is so crazy because this is very much like a reversal of episode wherever they were in the movie theater, right? Where he's
Mhm.
washing the jacket and she's basically, you know, she might as well have said, "You don't understand." Like that was the last bit my brother that I had, that we learned the backstory of her and her brother a little bit later. We're learning about him and Evelyn now. We get it as the audience. She does not, but
Yeah.
also like what happened to being partners? Like you're just gonna throw this away. Like she makes it very clear, I'm not dying for this fucking car. So word gets out the mechanic was attacked and the car was taken. Preacher instructs them to steal the camp, and this is where John and Quiet part ways. John dons the hood once again and heads for Evelyn. And then when we come back from a break, we flash back to young John again, who is now, I think, running out of gas. Is
Mhm.
that what you took it as well?
Yeah, he's driving down and he's talking. It sounds like he's talking to himself, but I think he's actually talking to Evelyn,
Yeah.
and saying that, oh, they can go anywhere they want, do anything that they want now, and then immediately just starts breaking down. And I
Yeah.
think it's probably the more serious than I think the gas, because he kind of has to, or maybe I'm getting the events out of order. I was saying then he like has to start looking for parts to fix her up, and stuff. But
That's later.
yeah.
That's during the montage. Yeah, I'm glad you brought up you thought that he was talking to himself because the two times that I watched this to take notes, because just in case I miss anything while I'm writing stuff down or in this case dictating to my phone, I do a second run around. And both times I was like, again, I thought that he was talking to himself. Hey, we can go wherever we want until yeah, the car dies. I do love this thing where he tells Evelyn that he'll fix her up, take care of her for saving his life back there, and vows that it will just be him, her, and the road. And he asks if it sounds good, and the dome light flickers as if it to agree in response. So
Yeah.
I do kind of like that. Um, we cut back to present day John, who reaches Evelyn and has a gun pulled on him by Preacher. John uses a wrench to hit the gun out of, it says Peter's hand, but Preacher's hand, but a shot accidentally hits Evelyn's gas tank. They continue to fight as gasoline pools all around them. A burning torch is on the ground as the gas reaches it. And now Preacher is on top of John and is about to stab him with a knife. Did you have any notes? Because it sounds like it's like a sacrifice kind of thing that he's about to do.
Yeah, he's kind of like he's pinned him, he's on top of him, yeah, and it's definitely like a uh yeah, like a sacrificial kill kind of vibe
Yeah.
there.
Right. So it's definitely not his first time. And we cut to Quiet's POV from outside of the camp, and we see a huge explosion. And just Quiet's reaction is heartbreaking. She goes from like, no, 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 to fuck. And then she screams, fuck, and then, yeah, she gets in the car, and we see that she's recovered the package and then beats the steering wheel in anger and then drives off.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it must be so frustrating because it's like, if he had just gone with her, that never would have happened.
Yeah.
We cut to Goddess Janice and some holy men putting Preacher's body into a vehicle and they drive off. The camera
Yeah, and
pans over to, yeah, go ahead.
oh yeah, here, yeah, we yeah, they're loading his body into the back of the car, and they say, hurry up and watch Preacher's head. And so, like, is he dead? Is he not? We know he hasn't. I can't remember if he's been confirmed to absolutely not be in season two, but there's at least the possibility for season three. But like,
Right.
was it Taj? We
Uh,
got a peek of, and he wasn't necessarily like up front, and center coming back.
right.
So I'm always holding out hope that we get another Preacher sighting in the show.
Yeah, and I don't usually go on IMDb and try to look ahead to see who's there, but it's weird because um and I'm not suggesting people go do this, but I did go look at the kind of the episode listing for season two, and for some weird reason, only episode two has a episode description. which was really odd. So I was just kind of curious, clicking around and stuff like that. I did see um, somebody listed in first episode that I did not expect to see from the first season. And so it, take it with a grain of salt. It's IMDb. People can update things and not often are they correct, especially prior to the release. I remember, I forgot what episode it was, but on Cobra Kai, somebody had put in Tom Sizemore in one of the episodes, and
Okay.
I think it was
Rest in
after he
peace.
passed. Yeah, and so it was like, it's like, oh, did he have a cameo before his passing? And I think yeah, the creators were like, no, no, that's erroneous. So yeah, so that's kind of interesting. Um, let's see here. Where did we leave off? Cut back to
They're loading a preacher into the back of
that's
the
right,
vehicle, and then the goddess, says, "Oh, that's the last of us. Drive, pig," and
right.
they exit.
The camera pans over to John underneath the hood. He starts to groan in pain and rolls over, so we know he's still alive. He sees that Evelyn has blown up, and we get this montage where we get flashbacks of young John and Evelyn at the junkyard we saw a sign for earlier. Present day John picking up the pieces and putting them into a pile. Um, and I have more notes, but what did you think about this kind of going back and forth montage here?
Yeah, I like they're it's kind of constantly, just flashing back between current John and young John. And young John is going through the scrapyard collecting parts to fix, Evelyn.
Mm,
And current John is collecting the pieces to build like a burial mound, burial like totem thing to seemingly say goodbye. So yeah, I liked that. The beginning of the relationship and the end
mm.
there.
I thought it was beautifully done, and with My Immortal playing, like it's almost like an actual music video.
Mhm.
I thought this sequence in particular was beautifully done. Young John is going through vanity plates, and we see him kind of looking through them. One of them was Easy Rider, second one was Bitch for Life, and he settles on Evelyn. And that's, if we're being fair, like that's the only name, and if you want to name a car
Yeah,
or something, you name it Evelyn. But like, hey, that's my car, bitch for life. It
it
just
would
it
be
doesn't roll off the tongue.
a much different emotional point for the series if
That's
every
true.
time he was no bitch for life has been with me since I was a child.
Yeah. I did have fun with this where I took a screenshot of like young John's face looking at the vanity plates, and I said which of these was not shown in this episode, and I added Avenger like AV3 and GR, something like that. And I think it was like 38% voted correctly that it was Avenger. But there was actually people that I think there was votes for everything, including Evelyn, that it was not shown. I'm like, what? What? That's the name he settles on. So I thought that was interesting. But yeah, all the options got votes. Um, at one point, young John is shown driving out of the junkyard, and I don't know if you caught this, but we see him drift around the corner.
Oh no.
Yeah, so it's the he gets in the car and so you see him leaving, so it's the backside, and he kind of drifts to the right and makes a kind of a left turn.
Natural
At least
skills.
that's what I saw. Yeah. Let's see, drift around the corner, and then the last time we see him present day, John is clutching the steering wheel, looking at the pile that is now Evelyn's grave. Now, him clutching the steering wheel, it was very reminiscent of like somebody holding, a loved one that is like dying, kind of like in the
Mhm.
arms right there. And I love that the license plate frame has the words "Stay clear, my rear is near" on it, as if it's like the writing on a tombstone for someone named Evelyn. So I love
Yeah.
that look. And that's the end of the episode.
Yeah.
So we have our games that we're gonna play here. The best line of the episode, the Marcus, it's your line. What did you have?
I had Preacher with the kind of the last meeting between him and John, where he says, "I admire your thirst, but if anyone is going to fuck this car, it's going to be me."
All right, that's a good one. I had that as one of my options as well. Great line. For me, I had it's basically when Quiet goes finds him in the cage and she's like, "You lost, huh?" He goes, "You don't know that. This could be a winner's cage." Okay, John. And so I love the delivery. He just plays it so straight and it's so funny. Um, for best character, I'll go first for best character of the episode. I guess we were kind of calling it on the last episode as the best character, as in like who's the driver that you're asking to drive for you, or whatever. Quiet. I thought it's more like kind of like what you're saying in the previous episode with one of your answers, real world answer, in universe answer kind of thing. It's more on Stephanie Beatrice's performance, but Quiet, we saw her be funny early on, and then like her doing the voice, the Cockney voice.
Mhm.
Doing that, and even we saw it kind of bookend emotionally too, where um I'm trying to remember like early on where it's when John's like really upset with Evelyn getting stolen, and it's he's like fuck, he's really upset. He's like, what the fuck did you do, or something like that, and you see the look on Quiet's face. She knows she fucked up. Like this is a big L for her. And I thought Stephanie, she just you could read it all over her face. And then the emotional sequence, which we kind of talked a little bit about, of her basically saying she's not dying over a fucking car. Like I drank Coke for you. I got whipped. It's just her delivery of all of those words, and it's heartbreaking. It's really really heartbreaking. And why I picked Bloody Mary in the previous episode is because it's not necessarily I connected with her. I sympathized with her and I was empathetic with her story. Quiet here, like I'm like my heart breaks for her, in this episode. And so that's why I have her for best character.
I mean, pretty much the exact same reasoning that you gave, but for
Oh,
Kreven.
oh,
Uh,
okay.
he seems like he's clearly personable, and he seems like just a fun holy man. He doesn't seem like he's too like full bloodlust or like too angry. He just seems kind of like the holy man that maybe just stumbled into it, like the stew. He's like the stew
Yeah,
of
yeah.
the holy
There
man.
you go. Yeah, yeah. Let's see. How about best costume?
Preacher. Yeah,
Okay. I do like how he's got like the neck tattoo with like the 10 slash marks, like when you're counting like the what is it? It's not Roman numeral, it's what is it, what's that called, the way
hash
they
marks.
okay, hash marks, yeah, the four, then the five crosses it, so there's 10. I don't know if that's 10 people he's killed. I don't know, but I do love the look of his feature as well. I went with something a little bit different. I went with John plus the Holy Man mask.
Okay,
It's
yeah,
all he did was add a mask, and like we only just started this game thing with episode 6, and so I've never got to use John. And just you think back to their compound, and everybody's like in black and leather and stuff like that. Even Quiet blends in a little bit more, minus her white shirt that she's wearing, but John's got the yellow and that really pops. And that mask, I don't know, the mask on him, it's just makes him a little bit cooler, actually. And so I have John for that. About best death.
I have Evelyn.
Oh wow, yeah,
Yeah,
I consider that. I consider
yeah,
that. For me, I had Fenchi the mechanic, just to go with something a little bit different, because it was a total beatdown by Quiet, and then the door. Like I didn't count the slams, but she must have like slammed the door on him like 5 times. So
yeah.
post fall slang.
Uh, Dick Hermuff, the
Yeah,
the chanting of Dick Hermuff,
yeah.
which I guess that's not technically post fall slang. If you're familiar with was it My Strange Addiction? We already know
Mm.
in our
Oh,
current world there are people who like to fuck cars. So I'm
yeah.
sure that's been used before, but yeah, it's hearing a crowd chant it, it's empowering.
Yeah, and it's not the first time, clearly. It's already a chant. And,
Yeah.
he just had to say the magic words. They're like, oh, we're about to see it. He's about to do the thing.
I mean, the second, yeah, Evelyn's brought in and he just sees, a gift being a car, everyone knows where this is
Yeah.
going. He's not excited to
Uh,
drive it.
right. Now, what I have isn't a necessarily a post-fall slang, but I have libation. Just because I
Okay.
feel in their community, when you say libation, it's literally Jack and real Coke and
Hmm.
this chug-a-lug time. So, I don't think that's their only beverage. I'm sure you can get something else, but excuse me, if you're a goddess or whatever, chug-a-lug time, like that's the thing, right? We're all getting these offerings, and it's Jack and real Coke. So
Yeah. It definitely plays into that, like, their kind of theming of like almost like medieval, like
yeah,
clergy, kind of stuff where, yeah, that's all goddesses, libations,
right,
things like
right.
that.
Yeah, I read like there was all these examples and stuff. They even talked about religious, and I go, okay, it all kind of makes sense with the holy man. Um, Now I did have a name for this, Little Kill music. To take a line from Sweet Tooth. So he says that when he's fighting John, and that's when he plays the thong song, right? So the Kill music, which is your needle drop of the episode. I think we both agree on My Immortal. Seems to be the only one.
Yep.
By Evanescence. Did you have any memories of that song? 2003,
Uh, no. I think I only know one
Bring Me to
Evanescence
Life.
song. Yeah, and which I've been thinking about a lot. If anyone has seen the rehearsal season two, that's a very big plot point. That song. So it's been running
Interesting.
through my head a lot. Yeah.
Okay. Bring Me to Life. I know from Daredevil, my eldest son. We used to karaoke a lot at home, and he would put on Bring Me to Life, and he would memorize the words, the lyrics from us singing it. So like he couldn't read, but he would, you know, sing along with the song. It was one of his favorite songs. But My Immortal, um, I don't want to. It sounds kind of bad when you say like it's a song you couldn't escape, but it was a great song. I loved it, and it was uh used very well and effectively in this montage. I did have the Wikipedia up for this song, and just to kind of give people a little bit of context, it says that the lyrics, let's see, hmm, it was intended it was something about the haunting. Where I should have highlighted it. Damn it. But Amy Lee, the lead singer, I had a bit of crush on her, probably from the My Immortal video as well. It's a very beautiful video, very beautiful song. Um, the lyrics is about ah the lyrics of the song refer to a spirit that haunts the memory of a grieving loved one. So I thought it was very fitting. Um, I had to look it up because I was like, was it kind of like a breakup song? It wasn't that, but I think that description very fits what was going on in the scene as well. So yeah, I loved it. I think it really set the tone for that sequence. Best use of a swear word. So you already used one of mine, so I do have a follow-up. Hopefully, we don't have to say one. What do you have?
I have when Quiet finds the photo in the field
Mm.
and asks John how old he is, and he says like, I don't even understand how people keep track of that. And her response is, I mean, birthdays, moon phases, cut your dick open, count the rings.
Consider that one. I don't know why I felt that was would be one you would use. I do love that line. Mine is when John challenges Preacher to a clash, and it's dead silent, and we're about to cut, and did you
Oh,
hear
yeah.
somebody go, "Oh, that guy is fucked"?
Yeah, that was another one that didn't have subtitles for me.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, my subtitles showed up. Now, are you watching it on the TV with the Peacock app, or how are you
Uh, I am
watching it?
watching it on Plex.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
so
own personal version.
Yeah, my w I watch it on the Peacock app on my smart TV, but when I take notes, I do it on the laptop. So I'm actually on the Peacock TV website, and so I wonder if like the subtitles or the captions are just kind of different. But yes, that's it, it shows it. It goes, ooh, that guy. So
I
I
love
love that little shot.
and yeah, it's so good because it's about to cut and it's just yeah completely silent. Like the all the other sound is just cut out, and so you just hear that the guy from the way back. Yeah,
Excuse me. It does remind me of the uh remember Deuce Bigelow, and
oh yeah,
yeah, he's like with like somebody extremely tall, and it's like somebody out of nowhere to like it's like whoa, that's a huge bitch, or something
yeah,
like that. It's just one of
yeah.
those things. Or feel there's
I feel
also like a
like
crowd moment
yeah, it's
in
something you see in a lot of Happy Madison movies. And it's either like
right.
Rob Schneider or Adam
Yeah,
Sandler
yeah.
dressed up as a hillbilly, and it's just they that one line that they yell out in a
Mhm.
lone crowd.
It's very much that, except for we get a un unfaced or a no face man. Yeah, just from the back there. I thought it was hilarious, and that's all of the categories there. Yeah, I another great episode. I just thought it was beautifully done. I know that this is what I believe the second episode we've done with Bill Benz, and I don't want to say if I have a favorite yet, but he's got two solid back-to-back episodes. Kitao Sakurai, who did the first two and the last two, he has some pretty damn good episodes too. So that is going to be the next episode that we review, episode 9, Roadkill. So we got two more before the drop. We still haven't even really decided how we're going to do the coverage because when season 2 drops, it's going to be the first three episodes. So you're looking at least an hour and a half. We don't know which characters are going to be in which episodes, so I don't know how to reach out to some of the. Okay, hold on, buddy. I'll be right there. Okay, Daddy's almost done. Uh, that happens almost every recording. Uh, yeah, so I don't even know how I'm gonna reach out to for some of these interviews, but I've also considered maybe, well, I'll have to talk to you about it, but I was thinking maybe since we know it's always gonna be a Thursday, what if we did something like we kind of schedule a live watch along, like on Instagram, like maybe both you and I are doing lives on our Instagrams and people can tune in. I have
Yeah.
several people from the show that follow me and they might tune in as well. And maybe we get some tidbits like in the comments, as people are watching. Yeah, we'll figure it out. And maybe that's what we do for releases. And then once the show ends, then maybe we get into the episode breakdowns. So yeah, it's something we'll definitely have to iron out, but keep it locked here. I know we don't often say it at the end, but if you guys are on social media and want to follow, I feel I'm pretty present, at least this weekend. I've been sharing so much stuff coming out of San Diego Comic-Con, but I am on X and on Instagram at Twisted Metal Pod. So Tyler, if you want to throw yours out, if I know you're
Yeah,
not as
on
active, but.
at 300 PTS on all of those except for Blue Sky, which is Rorik dot Blue Sky or whatever it is. Yeah, I
How's that
not
going over there
very.
anyway?
Oh, I mean, it's you get a lot less Nazi stuff on there than you
Yeah.
do X. You don't get promoted Elon Musk tweets, but it's definitely not as active. But that's also kind of nice, sometimes just very curated.
Right.
You don't get a lot of stuff that you don't want to see if you're not asking for it over there.
I will say on X, my Twisted Metal, I don't have like a huge following, nor am I following a lot, but that seems to be going pretty well for me. But on my Cobra Kai account, I have like almost 16,000 followers. And that's where like I hate going on there and seeing my timeline or whatever. I'm just like, ugh, I definitely want to get
Yeah.
off of X because of that. But now that that show's over, I'll visit once in a while, but at least with the Twisted Metal side, it's been pretty, my algorithm seems to be doing okay over there. A lot of games, type discussion is showing up. So But yeah, I am pretty present enough on those. Mostly Instagram is where I'm kind of making my presence. So I want to thank you guys for supporting us over here at Twisted Metal Companion, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode. And until then, keep it twisted.